sucks being Superman's pal, doesn't it? Nah.
Nah. I mean, at least, they're friends with benefits.
Well, kind
Not
of,
what I
I
meant, but
guess.
okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I
Yep.
see what you're
Yep.
saying. Different kind of benefits.
Different kind of
Different
benefits, right.
Yeah, let's clarify that. Let's clarify that. There are benefits, but not those type of benefits. We're looking at you, Lois. Anyways, cheers, guys. We are
She needs
back.
to start wearing pants.
That's what I was going to say in the opening. Damn it. I was like totally like, because just preparing and everything like that, I was going, what was I going to say in the opening? And I just totally blanked out. And you just said it right there. I'm like, that's what I was going to freaking say was that.
Yep. Every once in a while, I pull one on you.
Yep.
Good for me. Yes.
God. Yeah, because there is a funny moment that happens in this episode. And I thought,
But it's the way she's animated. I mean, that's what sells it.
That's what really sells it. And just the whole thing in general is kind of interesting. But we'll get to that point when we're talking about pants here. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to DC Fan-imated. We are back after taking a week off because, Scott, you were on vacation and hopefully you got revitalized and rested up. You made a puzzle.
I did make a puzzle. Hiking, horseback riding, wildfires. It was a fully packed week. What can I say?
Oh man, must have been nice. Disconnected slightly, from
slightly. It was, got caught up. Was able to catch up on at least one show because I was having an XDM group chat, and I need people to understand that when you have the work schedule that I have, and you have 3 kids, and most of the shows you want to watch, your children can not be within any kind of distance of you watching it. But then you add on the layer of, and then you want to watch the show with your wife. I don't get to watch it. Okay. So it's like, oh man, I got caught up on 1923 on the vacation. It was so
nice.
Season 2 has been really good. So
I still haven't even watched like the original Yellowstone. So I gotta. That's
and the best part about this is you can watch it and never seen a single episode of Yellowstone. That's
because it's a prequel. It's a prequel.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. It's Harrison Ford, Helen Mirren, right?
And Timothy Dalton.
And then, of course, everybody who's always looking at the possible, like everybody's wanting him maybe as Batman. I like him.
The guy who plays Spencer.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Brendan Sklenar. He's like becoming like the new. Batman stuff aside, he's just becoming that new guy. Like
Oh, well, I mean, it's deserved too.
Yeah,
like
I hear he does really well in that.
He does really well, and like I said, season 2 has even like turned it up a notch for him. So I mean, highly recommend. If you've got a Paramount Plus subscription, it's worth it. I've said it before. I will say it again. We're starting the episode off with a tangent, but that's what happens.
Yeah,
Paramount Plus is like low key one of the best streaming services out there.
Yeah, I have it. And it has some good shit on it. I mean, it seems like the top ones are always Netflix, Amazon, Hulu. Yeah, those are great. But I mean, sometimes I just like diving into Max or even like a Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus is really good if you've got kids because it has all that Nickelodeon programming and, like the Sonic movies and all of that. I mean, it's got that stuff. And it's got some incredible, and even with, a lot of it comes from the Taylor Sheridan deal because all of his shows are just like one. I mean, Tulsa King, Mayor of Kingstown, Lioness.
It's amazing how many shows that guy has.
Well, he got a deal with Paramount. I mean, Yellowstone made him very popular with Paramount, and but yet he just churns out all these shows, and I mean,
it's not so much that it's not so. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's not that he's like, oh yeah, he's turning a lot of shows. It's like that I hear great things about every single one of them. It's not like he just has a show that, oh yeah, he also had this show, but nobody ever talks about. No, everybody talks, and they get multiple seasons because people are tuning in and they're watching.
Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone just got renewed for season 3. I mean,
yeah. You got that, and then of course with all the Yellowstone stuff that's been happening too, and then it seems like the one with Billy Bob Thornton. I think that
Landman is amazing.
Yeah,
Landman, and it just got announced that it's getting a season 2.
There it is.
So,
like no matter what, it's like he like churns out all these shows, but they're all good. They're all worthy. So
yeah,
that's good writing for you.
I know. Yeah. I mean that's the thing. So do yourself a favor because it's some good stuff. It is some really good stuff, but not what the topic of tonight's episode. But yes, thank you guys for indulging me and actually having a vacation for the first time since 2023. It was appreciated. So
Yeah, no, it was great. But I do love the fact that you still showed up for the vodka stream. So we had some conversations then, because people were missing you on that. So that was good times. But yeah, glad that you guys. I mean, I would love to. Obviously you can't fully disconnect sometimes, but at the same time, it's just nice to just
you can disconnect enough. That's the thing. It's like, when you check your social media feed, like just in the evening, and you just kind of get the rundown of, oh, this must have happened today. And then you move on because you got, something else. Like I said, the puzzle was what really was like my, it would be like, everyone leave me alone. I'm working on my puzzle. And it was very nice. I've missed.
Puzzle.
I am an old man, I know, but I have missed doing a good old fashioned jigsaw puzzle. There's something. It's kind of like adult coloring books in a way. That's something that allows you to just have like this intense focus on a task is actually very therapeutic.
Yeah.
So
puzzles are like that. It's not digital. It's physical. That's another thing, that it's physical. And I can't remember the last time I did a puzzle, but when I saw it when you posted it, I was like, see, that looks like fun to just like, hey, just turn off everything and maybe have some music on or something. If anything, maybe you have like a little drink next to you or something like that, and just kind of do something. Just try to.
Oh, there was a wine glass or two over the course of that. Yes, there was.
Exactly. Of course. So, but anyways, yes, we are back, and we are back in Metropolis right here, and we're going to be talking about Superman's pal.
Okay, so here's a question.
Okay.
Was this? I know you've talked about how Superman the Animated Series is one that you're less familiar with. So was this an episode that when it started you were like, oh yeah, this episode, or was this kind of one of those episodes where you're like, this is kind of like watching it for the first time?
No, it was one of those where I was like, once it started kicking, I was like, okay, yep. And then I went, oh yeah, I know who shows up in this. It was one of those where I went, oh yeah, I know who shows up in this.
That is interesting because it was a surprise to me.
It was a surprise to you, really?
Well, Tina had one line in that first scene that made me go, I bet you this person is in this episode.
That's where I started going. I was like, wait a minute, because it wasn't like right at first, but yeah, I think I was with you on that. Where when you kind of go, okay, Tina something, and then I went, oh yeah, okay, I remember that. And then it's just like things started firing off, and I'm like, oh, this is okay.
This episode is actually one of those episodes where when you get to that final scene, the one that you used for the thumbnail, that was that was the thing about the episode that I remembered.
Yeah, I remember that part too.
But that was the part of the episode that I remembered. That was it. Everything else was I don't remember what happens in this episode except for that scene. Like everything else was just gone as far as
crazy, because it's usually the other way around. But as soon as I started going like Tina, and then I was like, wait a minute, because at first I was like, when it started playing, I'm like, that's not their version of Cat Grant. No. And then I went, okay, Tina.
Because and that's an interesting point. They never have Cat in this show.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, no, there was never a Cat Grant in this. And then I'm typing, I'm like, okay, Tina. And then as it started going, I'm going, oh, wait, the beat started coming back a little bit when it came to like, oh yeah, then we get to this, and then I went, oh, okay, and then it's kind of started coming back to me. So interesting. So kind of reversed this time, because usually I'm the one like, I don't fucking know where this is going.
Oh, I mean, I'm used to that with you by now, Dave.
Yeah, exactly. It does happen. So, and of course, thank you guys who are in the chat right now. We got that Superman guy, which you're the perfect stream for you right now. And then
Exactly.
and then of course, Game City Savior. This is not pre-recorded. We are.
Oh no, we are. Do you think? Okay, here's an excellent. I mean, seriously, the amount that we tangent and ramble. You don't think we'd actually edit?
No, no, this is raw. This is raw.
This is whatever pops into our stupid heads while we do this stream.
No, not pre-recorded, not whatsoever. No, we do this thing raw. That's right. We do it live. All right.
I was going to say, you kept saying raw. I'm just like, dude, no.
Yeah, no, I keep saying it so much. I'm like, yeah, we're raw dogging. You're raw dogging, you Game City Savior.
See, this is how you know this is not pre-recorded.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to prove that point right here. So, oh man. So, anyways, yeah, Cat is too hot for kids TV. Yeah, probably. Yeah, she probably is, especially if you look at the
honestly, it would kind of depend on which iteration of Cat. Yeah. But yes, I mean, come on, Lois and Clark was my introduction to Cat Grant. That actress who played her in season 1. Yes.
Yeah, and then we got a new Cat Grant's going to be showing up in the new Superman movie, and whoo, she's a looker. Ooh, man, I don't know if you saw like her video she did on. I think it was on TikTok.
No, I don't do the.
But it was also on Twitter. It was on Twitter too, because obviously CinemaCon was happening, so there was like press things. So like the ladies of Superman, they took some pictures, and whoo, let's just say, the ladies of Superman, James Gunn understood the assignment. That's for damn sure. Anyways, all right, so let's talk about Superman's pal, and yes, it starts off with Tina, because we get. Her annoying Lois, which is kind of funny because obviously she wears a lot of accessories, a lot of jewelry.
Yes, she does. And and when she makes the comment, I like metal, and that's when I went,
there it is.
I think I know where this is going.
Yeah. That's where it starts. She starts indicating like, okay, So, but she's wearing a lot of bracelets, a lot of this, and it annoys Lois.
She's got a nose stud. She's got the earrings. She is one of those people that just goes clickety clank clank, the whole way. And I kind of understand where Lois is coming from.
This would totally it fits, because Lois would 100% be annoyed by this, and Lois, she's got her way, she's got her ways to him. So when you have this intern that is helping her out, but of course is walking around, and you can, she can't sneak up on anybody because it's just cling, 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 cling. It's just a lot of things that are like I said, she accessorized. And then of course we have Jimmy, who is in the distance, who's like, getting his camera, and he's looking at them, and then Clark walks up and he's going, hey, well, what do you think about her? Why don't you think about asking her out? Which I think is like not a good idea. It's like, hey, I guess it's a good idea because they're both young, sure, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, be professional. I don't know. Don't start asking out the interns right away.
Right. I know that's completely accurate. But what I do enjoy is I enjoy in many iterations of Superman is not even the Superman's pal aspect of the relationship, but the Clark and Jimmy relationship. It's a great aspect. It's something that I always enjoyed from, the Lois and Clark, CK and, and that kind of thing. It's also why in the final season of Superman and Lois, there was an episode that is definitely one of the best episodes of that final season. And so, because it involves Jimmy. And so, but once again, it's that Jimmy Clark relationship that I really enjoy. So what I see here, your point stands about Jimmy, don't ask out the intern. What I take from it though, is Clark being there and being supportive of Jimmy and wanting to be like a wingman. Wingman. You got this, buddy. And that is something that I really really enjoy about their relationship, especially in this show, and that easygoing way that Tim Daly does Clark.
Hmm.
It's just so. Why don't you ask her out? I mean, because
Yeah.
Tim Daly, he's just, whether he's Clark or when he's Superman, he's smooth, he's chill. It's
Charming.
what'd you say?
Charming.
It is extremely charming.
Yeah.
So I really just like the way that he just kind of slides on in there, and he's like, well, and he's just being that really encouraging buddy, and it's
Yeah.
really nice.
No, that's nice. And then I love that Jimmy's like, well, I did ask her out twice. And I know you
First
tweeted
time she
out
told
like,
me her cat was sick. Well, the second time she told me to buzz off. Lois is rubbing off on her.
yeah. And that's what I love about you is like, yeah, he just like, yeah. And then the second time told me to buzz off. And then Jimmy walks away and he's like, oh, Lois is rubbing off on her. It's like, yep, that sounds a very, very Lois right
That was
there.
a
Like,
very Lois thing to say. So
yeah.
that's
It's a cool little
fun.
relationship that they already established. Right? I mean, we've seen it before, but we're seeing it more, obviously, being this episode called Superman's Pal, of
Well, because
course.
Jimmy gets a nice, solid episode. I mean, the last
Yeah.
time Jimmy got a really good episode like this was that Parasite episode.
Yeah.
So, it's
What they talk about.
yes, they do. They do talk about that. So because they walk over the TV, and I feel like it's such a '90s reference where it's like the high speed, the high speed chase.
Yeah.
Of course, all I thought about was the white Bronco and O.J. Simpson, but there was a period of time where you felt like you were always watching those on the news. So it's just once again, it's very evocative of the period in which this show was made.
It very much is, because nowadays you just catch it online. It's just somebody posts like the full video and then you could just skip through it, But there was like a time where I remember when all of a sudden, you're watching a cartoon like this, and then all of a sudden, dun, 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 all of a sudden we got to break. They
Breaking
interrupt.
news.
Yeah, breaking news. They even still do that. That's what I kind of wonder about.
Actually, on cable news, I know they do it.
Okay, yeah,
But
because it used to always be a thing. I mean, of course, I don't really watch standard cable anymore, but it was always a thing where it was frustrating because all of a sudden you get like special report, and then all of a sudden, but then it would be kind of cool because all of a sudden, then they just cut to a fucking car just darting down the highway, and you're going, oh, it kind of gave me a little bit of excitement.
yeah, right now the only interruption you normally get, at least in my area, is weather reports.
Yes, but yeah, over here in California, well, those shits probably still happen because I think there was actually one that just happened even recently, but I caught it, of course, online. But yeah, it was like it was very much a big thing. So everybody, obviously starts crowding around the TV. They're all looking at this high speed chase that's happening, and then of course they know that it's like right outside. So then they all rush to the window, and naturally Clark stays behind, and then decides to do his Superman thing as he does.
Yeah. Okay. So this is interesting. So the high speed chase in this episode, when it's all said and done, it's only about causing an event that gets Jimmy some attention from Angela Chen.
Yeah.
Because Angela makes the situation worse by her helicopter eventually, knocking into the other helicopter.
Yep.
Which pisses Superman off.
Yeah. Oh, and he does not want to give her a statement. Oh, I love what he said.
Not at all. But it also, because Jimmy's there trying to help with the people who are injured, showing that Jimmy is a good person. And then he's there for Angela to try to make a news story out of. Yep. But it was kind of one of the situations where you're watching the high-speed chase, you're watching Superman stop it, only for you to realize, well, in the scheme of things, the chase is kind of pointless in the episode.
Really, because all Superman does is just lift up the car, the guy who's running away, and he places it somewhere. But then, of course, the helicopter collision kind of thing happens. And then there's a bridge that's also like, because of that, is starting to crumble a little bit. So, yeah, it's like Superman just doing, his Superman things. And then, of course, Angela doesn't care about any of that. She just wants a statement from Superman. And he just goes, you wouldn't like, you
You
wouldn't
wouldn't
like,
like it.
yeah. He's just like, he's all, yeah, I want to give you a statement, but probably has maybe a couple of 4-letter words. I don't know. I don't know if Superman just had that feeling inside where it's like, yeah, I'll give you a piece. I'll give you a fucking statement. Jesus Christ. I mean, because yeah, like she said, she could, and again, they crafted this whole thing just to cause that. And then of course she goes over to Jimmy because she's just sleazy like that. And she goes, well, wait a minute, hey, look at you. And then of course is going to try to, I mean, she is good at her
the
job.
hell out of what he says. That is,
yes, she's good at her job. I'll give her that. She's really good at her job. And when we've seen her throughout, and she knows how to get to that story. She is that. She knows when she sees the story, she's going to go after it and she's going to be sleazy about it, sure. But I mean, we really see it right there. And my God. Ugh.
yeah. I mean, the way that they take what he says to edit it in a way
Yeah.
to say things he didn't say.
Yep.
It's
the media.
the media. And then, and then Jimmy's the one who has to live with, the consequences because he was trying to do the right thing. He wasn't trying to make the story about himself. He was answering her questions and didn't even consider that he was being videotaped. So he was trying to say, I don't want to do an interview. And in saying, I don't want to do an interview, he was being interviewed, without his permission. And I think it's another aspect about this episode that it does a really great job of showing you what just a good guy Jimmy is.
Yeah, he was just, he's innocent. He's innocent in all this, and then it sucks because when that thing airs, and then all of a sudden we cut to they're watching it, and Lois is like upset about it because of certain things. And she's like, "Wait a minute, I was there too," and because of the way that it was put out there, so she gets upset about it, and then Jimmy, being the guy that he is, he goes, "Oh shit!" And then he tries to sneak into the Daily Planet with like a hat on. He's like, "Oh, yep, let me just scooch on by." And then, of course, who is now got the attention of Jimmy, and that is, of course, good old Tina. But I was like going, "Oh yeah, this is." Yep, obviously she's gonna start sweet talking him, and it's like, she's got a vendetta.
Yeah, and then. And it's interesting. Another cool thing about this episode is that first we go through a wave of people.
Yeah.
Who
there's a whole montage.
There's a whole montage of people trying to give Jimmy attention, and he's trying to avoid it until it gets him the date with Tina.
But the montage is interesting because it's just normal everyday people that have gripes, and they are what's kind of cool about it for Jimmy is the fact that he's getting treatments like, hey, it's on the house, hey, have a free sandwich, or hey, you this, that, and this.
Free donut.
Yeah, something like that. But then at the same time, they want him to be like, hey, can you get Superman to like handle this totally non-Superman problem I have? Like, I got a noisy neighbor or shit.
But that was an interesting thing too, because it was actually like two different montages. Like,
oh yeah, that's right. There was two. Yeah,
right. Because the first one is the one where he's trying to avoid it. He's not trying to take credit for it.
Yeah,
until he can get the date with Tina.
Yeah, and then she's all about it.
He gets the date with Tina.
Yeah,
he gets attacked by the thugs. And there was definitely a moment in there that made me think about the Untouchables. Did you catch it?
I didn't catch it because I haven't seen that movie since like the 90s. So,
dude, okay, that's just wrong on your part. Well, the guy says, he put one of my friends in jail. I'm going to put his in the morgue.
Okay, yeah, that line.
And of course, all I can think of is Sean Connery going, you send one of his, he sent one of yours to the hospital. You send one of his to the morgue. That's the Chicago way. That's how you get Capone. And it's a good line. It's a great line. It's one of the best scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
And then after that, of course, he gets in real trouble. Superman shows up. I really love how the guy like swings like the billy club at him, and Superman goes, "Are you kidding?
Are you kidding me?" Yeah, exactly. Like he's like, "You're kidding me, right?" And it's just like, yeah, it's like, well, do you guys really think? I mean, it's so funny because Superman's at the point where it's like, you're just you human swinging a billy club at me, and
Me, yeah." It
yeah,
reminded me of that scene in The Mechanic from Batman the Animated Series when
mm.
the goons are firing the Tommy guns at the Batmobile, and Robin's like, "Are you joking?" And Batman's like, "Must be new in town." I
It's always nice when you get those quips where, from the superheroes, like, you should know this by
by
now.
now, I
Yeah.
mean, it was, but I had a moment. So this scene, it was great. Like I said, the first thing I got the Untouchables reference in my head, and then that one made me think about that Batman episode. But the Superman, but I also like how Superman tells him, "Hey, we need, I need you to put the kibosh on this thing because I'm not always going to be here.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't hear you. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
away." And Jimmy's like, "Oh, yeah, man." And Jimmy tries, but no one wants to listen to him say, "We're not buddies.
Yeah.
We're not the best of friends." And then this is when you get the second montage of
Of
everyone
everybody. Yeah.
of everyone
Hounding.
giving you, like you said, like the non-Superman problems and trying to
Yes.
dump them on Jimmy.
And he tries to get Angela to take back the story, but she doesn't care. She's on her next story trying to get some other hot little scoop and a hot little something like that. And she's like, it's so funny because, in her world, she goes, "Really? You want to take that story back? I made you famous, kid. That I did my job. I made you famous," but not realizing that it's going to make Jimmy's life miserable. And then the fact that, even though he got saved by Superman at one point, sure, that was great. But at the same time, Superman's like, "Hey, I'm not always in earshot, dude. I can't do this. I can't keep up this whole thing. So you might want to, clear it up." But yeah, of course, Angela just reacts the exact way that, of course, she's going to act. She's just on her way to the next thing. "I made you famous. Enjoy it." And it's like, no, he's not enjoying it.
Yeah. Well, and then the montage ends with him being like, it's like that famous like '60s rock and roller thing where like the groupies are all like,
Yeah, the
running,
girls.
they come running to him, and of course Tina shows up. He jumps in the car, and then they go to a scrap yard. And of course, in my head, I'm remembering that line from the first scene about "I like metal," and I'm like, "Is so and so gonna show up?" And
Yeah.
yep, I love how you hear Malcolm McDowell,
Yeah.
and then you go, "And there's Metallo."
There's Metallo. Yeah. So
But
yeah,
what's
good
really
old
cool though
Metallo.
is that they still keep Metallo has one of the most recognizable and coolest themes in Superman the Animated Series. And once again, that's what I love about this animated universe. Characters get themes, and the themes stay. So we're in the third season of the show, and every time Metallica shows up, there's that dun 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 dun. It's those strings, and it's like that's Metallo's theme, and it's been
Yep.
his theme since his first appearance. And it's great. I love the way that even as a stinger going into a commercial break, it's Metallo's, it's Metallo's theme, and I really love that.
No, it's great. And but yeah, it's good. And then of course, Tina is I don't know. It's like, how do you, man, she really does have a thing for metal, because like, how do you kiss that face?
I
Oh,
know, right?
ugh.
It's weird. It's a weird
She's got a
relationship.
fetish. She's
I
got a
don't.
fetish.
She has a fetish. I don't think this is relationship. This is one of those things where it's like, because we never get any kind of backstory
Yeah.
or explanation, it's a little weird. It's
Yeah. It's a little weird.
it's a little
Even
weird.
though we know that Metallo is he's a pretty horny dude in previous episodes when it comes to Lois. Remember?
Oh, absolutely. Especially that first episode when John Corbin gets turned into
Yeah.
Metallo. He was a horn dog in that episode.
Yeah. So we know that he still has those feelings for sure. So, that checks out. But her story, it's like, what is up with
With this
you?
chick, yeah.
Jesus
So, you know,
Christ. What kind
but
of childhood
then,
do you have?
because of the whole like car and the compactor, then that made me think about Superman 3.
Mm. I don't remember that part. I hardly remember Superman 3.
Okay, so it's
The
when
Richard Pryor one, and I'm
it's the
like,
Richard Pryor one, yes.
I'm pretty sure there was a scrapyard there. Yeah,
Well,
vaguely,
because
but
it's when evil Superman is like drinking the
oh, that's right.
beer.
It's where yes,
It's
that's
where
right.
he inexplicably splits into two personalities, and
Yeah,
Clark and
yeah,
Superman are fighting each other. Yeah,
yeah.
because at one point, one of them, they get stuck in one of those like compactor
Mhm.
things. Yeah, so I was thinking about Superman
I did
3 during
not
that.
even think. Wow. Yeah, it shows you like that one. I don't know what. When it came to the Superman movies, I watched Superman Quest for Peace way more than
Okay,
Superman
this
3.
goes back to a thing that we did on Squadcast movies when
Uh-huh.
Tim, Ray, and I watched all the
Yeah, remember
Superman
that.
movies,
Yeah.
and Ray and I contended that we thought Quest for Peace was a better Superman movie than Superman
Yes.
3.
Yes, because Superman 3 was essentially it was a Richard
Richard
Pryor
Pryor
movie that
movie,
had
yes.
Superman in it. Because
Yes.
Richard Pryor was the hot shit, and he was the biggest comedian, and they started putting him in movies. And yes, he did great movies with Gene Wilder, Hear No
Oh,
Evil, See
Blazing
No Evil.
Saddles was
Yeah, Blazing
hilarious.
Saddle. He wasn't in Blazing Saddles. Richard Pryor wasn't. But they started a couple of movies.
Richard Pryor wrote it. That's it. Richard Pryor wrote it.
He wrote it. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, he wasn't in. But I know he was in a movie called Hear No Evil, See No Evil, or one of them was deaf, one of them was blind. Funny movie.
Yeah, that is a funny movie. You're right.
Yeah, he was in a movie called The Toy, which was very interesting. That would not fly nowadays. You got Rich Whitey and his kid purchasing a black man who's going to be like his toy. It wouldn't really work nowadays. Funny movie though, because it's Richard Pryor. But yeah, so he was showing up in a bunch of movies, and then they were like, "Well, let's put him in the next Superman movie," which was weird, a weird choice to be.
But
to
that
think
sounds
about.
like the Salkinds. That's what the Salkinds would do, So
Yeah,
it's
that's right. Those guys. Ugh.
yeah, because this is the last one because they sold the rights
Yes.
to a different company for Quest for Peace. So
Yeah. And
um,
again, I'm all about Nuclear Man. I was like, Nuclear Man was cool when I was a kid. Of course, they watch it now. Yeah, it's not that, but still, there was some.
well, because it's just it's their bargain basement version of Bizarro.
Yeah,
Because it was actually
exactly.
supposed to be Bizarro. They're like,
Yeah.
that's the thing. So, it's kind of like Superman 3 has, when the sister gets turned into the computer, that was supposed to be Brainiac. It's
It was always so weird. It was like, yeah, we're not going to do the thing that people want us to do. We're going to do a version of that.
a
And
version
like,
of the thing. Yes.
yeah. But then again, you kind of understand it because back then they were going, well, movie watchers aren't going to understand this. They want to see the stars, and we got Richard Pryor, and people want to see Richard Pryor.
And Superman 3 even had like the replacement businessman who was like Lex Luthor, but wasn't Lex Luthor. It was a weird movie. Superman 3, I'm sorry. I know Quest for Peace isn't good. I am not saying that Quest for Peace is a good movie, but I'm telling you, when you watch all of them, it's like how I enjoy Batman Forever. Speaking of the late Val Kilmer,
yes, yes.
I would watch Batman Forever over Batman Returns. It's like I think I could easily say I'd watch Quest for Peace over Superman 3. I mean, that's just way
no. We're totally in line with that because I even said it too, and again, maybe raise our drinks to Mr. Val Kilmer for passing away, 65 years too young, but yes.
Yes, and by the way, if you all have not if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you need to check out the Val documentary. It's
so good.
It's so good.
It's so good. If you ever want to get into the mind of him, that 100% captures it. It's heartbreaking because it goes back and forth from modern day and obviously back because he
He
recorded
videotaped everything. I mean, it
yeah,
was
he bought himself a video camera, and you see other actors, and you just see the mind of the genius. And then I love the fact that he also like admits that, yeah, I was a dick sometimes. I was a
it is
dick
a
back
very
then.
honest. It's a very
Yeah,
honest
he
documentary.
reflects onto the fact that, hey, I was a dick when it came to certain things. But then at the same time, a lot of people raved about working with him and how he took the job seriously, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So may he rest in peace.
Absolutely.
And I still say that he's one of the best live action Bruce Waynes. You know, I always say that about his Bruce Wayne and Batman Forever. You know, I mean, his Batman was good too, but his Bruce Wayne, I just love his Bruce Wayne so much that it's like in my top, I mean, it might even be my favorite. I don't know. Just his Bruce Wayne had a lot to do in Batman Forever. Anyways, another tangent. But of course, we had to talk about that because, we lost an icon.
We did.
Yeah, so we got the trash compactor scene. And yeah.
I like it how Tina's almost ready to like kill Jimmy, and
Yes.
Metallo is like, "Don't damage the collateral."
Yeah, Metallo's like, we kind of need, because Metallo's whole idea was for her to infiltrate Daily Planet, become an intern, and of course be close to Lois, and then get
use
Lois. Yeah, Lois was
Superman.
the target, but Tina was going, I can't even try to do anything with this girl. She hates me. But then realized after the story that Angela put out there, oh, wait a minute, we got Superman's pal. This guy is first off, he's a guy. He's already tried to ask me out twice. Here's the target. Much easier. So good on Tina for for improvisation into the whole scheme. But then, of course, she's just insane and is going, well, let's just go. And then Metallo's like, hey, wait a minute. Let's not actually crush the guy.
We need him.
Yeah, we need him to lure the other guy.
Yeah, we need him so we can get our target, which is Superman. Because then, of course, Superman...
This is when she calls Lois, right?
Right. She does basically like a 911 call.
Oh my God, Jimmy and I have been kidnapped. And blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. That's the...
Yeah. And then she goes into Perry's office. Clark gets out of the elevator and, of course, does his little snooping thing and hears about this. And then this is where we get that random scene, which is kind of interesting because the first thing I thought about, first off, it's funny because obviously he hears this and goes, well, I need to rescue Jimmy. And then he flies out the window. And then we get the scene where, Lois has to like hold down her skirt and she goes, man, I need to start wearing pants. Funny scene, but I'm going, Clark, why did you go that way?
Right. He literally, that means he zoomed across the entire floor of the Daily Planet to go out, had to go through a door to go specifically out the window in Perry's office.
They wrote this gag specifically for her doing the I mean, it's very like Looney Tunes.
It's very Looney Tunes, but also very Marilyn Monroe from the 7-Year Itch. Yeah,
exactly. Where she's holding the skirt and then she's just like, I should be wearing pants. They wrote that specific because it doesn't really make sense for Clark to do that.
No, it's a gag. It's a gag that makes no logical sense within the context of the scene it's in. So it exists to be the joke.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I was like, that's a funny joke, but I'm going, why the hell would he even go that way?
He wouldn't. That's the thing. He wouldn't go that way.
Yeah. So a little cheesy, but hey, they wanted to.
It was a good line. Not gonna lie,
it's a good line because she always does wear the skirt, and that's what Lois does. I mean, obviously, nowadays she's what I love about and then even just again with the new Superman with obviously with Rachel Brosnahan, I mean, she's very much wearing pants, but she has like the high water type of pants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good it's a good wardrobe, and she's wearing the purple, which is really good too, which I love. But so obviously we get Superman showing up to the scrapyard, and then immediately Metallo is just like throws a car at him.
Then it's just fighty, punchy.
Fight. And then I love the fact that Metallo, because the last time we had these two interact, obviously Superman was prepared. And then, of course, Metallo's like, hey, you've come without your protective outerwear kind of thing. And he's like, oh. Because obviously, Superman had no idea what the hell was going on. And of course, Metallo immediately just does the whole, hey, here's the kryptonite, in my chest, and let me just zap you with it. So yeah, it's not good for Superman, but hey.
No. And then the rest of it's just a fight, and Metallo does what Metallo, he just keeps zapping him with more kryptonite stuff. But once again, in keeping with this episode, Jimmy, first he attacks Tina to make sure Tina's out of the picture. And
she's got some moves. I'm like, what the fuck is the backstory with this chick, man?
I know it would be nice to have had some of that. Yeah. But then he goes to, but Jimmy also kind of does the thing where he figures something out on the fly because he's watching Metallo beat the crap out of Superman. He can't do anything to Metallo, but he does notice the battery that's leaking the battery acid.
Yeah,
and
this is where we're going to start going into it. Right
okay.
Yeah, because again, like you said, it's just fight for pretty much this whole thing right here. But we're going to jump into right here where Superman what's happening to Superman? He got slimed by Slimer. No, that's kryptonite right there. Yep.
Oh yeah, the magnet.
Jimmy improvising. He uses the magnet with the bus. So, I mean, good old Jimmy, he's smart thinking about this. Hey, metal, magnet, why not?
The trash compactor comes back, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh. And then Jimmy's like, get the hell out. Get out of that. But then Superman stops it. He's got some strength left. Yes.
He does recover rather quickly from being exposed to a lot of kryptonite.
But you gotta realize it's a sunny day. And that's the way I look at it. It's a sunny day.
Come now, Superman. Do you really think you'll ever win this way?
I love it, boy.
I like how. Okay, so here's the thing. I love the fact that he can start zapping the kryptonite out of his eyes, almost like Superman's heat ray. But if you can zap the kryptonite out of your eyes now, how about we close the chest plate? Because it's cliche. It's always the way you defeat Metallo. You get rid of the kryptonite power source. But you always have to find some way to get rid of the kryptonite power source because his chest has to be exposed.
Oh, yeah.
I must say, you two make quite a team. Dramatic, but feeble.
Okay, this is another thing. This got a little repetitive at the end of this episode.
It got a little repetitive. But then, of course, we have Jimmy use the battery ass and he's like, all right, let me just spray that on you, buddy.
I also love how how weak it appears.
Yeah.
And this wouldn't have been a problem if he'd had his freaking chest piece closed. I do love how Metallo immediately collapses as soon as he loses his kryptonite power source.
And then that's it. Metallo is gone. And then they smile. Dun, 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 dun. And then, of course, this is where you started really this is a memorable scene right here, of course.
Well, because it's the signal watch.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't I?
It's kind of the really fun part. It is the Superman's pal part. It's the fact that he's the one who has a watch that can call Superman whenever he needs to.
You didn't have to. I mean, you saved my life too. Only 1,000,000 times.
Only 1,000,000 times.
It's not just a watch. This button emits a hypersonic.
And
cool watch too.
It is a cool watch.
Watches, man. I would get that Superman watch.
I figured you might need it.
I also love how it's analog.
Yeah. I'm all about analog watches, man.
I mean, I even on my Apple Watch, I even have an analog face.
Yeah. And then flies off, and look at that. He's got a new watch. And then he smiles. I love that. It's like it's anime.
It is like an anime. It is an anime shot. That is
Anytime
very
they like smile, their eyes get really, super
close.
squinty.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, this is like it's like one of those episodes where it's a feel good.
It's cute episode.
It's cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing that we're like, oh
introduced-
my god.
I'm right. No, nothing like that. But it does introduce the signal watch, which
does.
is a cool part of Superman mythology, and it's something that will get used, in the future. So I got no problem. I got no problems with it. Like I said, it's a cute episode. It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's not earth shattering, but it's also not hot garbage. So
no, it's not. It's not Batman in the basement where they were trying to be cute and it just missed.
whiff that ball. I mean,
because they were really trying to be cute with that, and it was just going. You're trying to be cute with Batman like this? No, I'm sorry, you're not going to do that. Yeah, but you could do something cutesy with Superman, sure. But then at the same time, you're literally putting things that people like us would actually know about, like you said, like the watch or something like that. And like we know that Superman and Jimmy have always had this kind of relationship. It's not just random kids.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there was literally a comic book called Jimmy Olsen, Superman's pal.
There you go.
Or Superman's pal Jimmy, or Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen. Yeah, but I mean, that was literally the book where Darkseid was introduced. So you know what? It's a thing.
There it is. So yeah, Superman's pal right there. Like I said, it's a cute episode. We dug it. And it's also the return of Metallo, which was interesting. And what do we got next week?
We head back to the future.
Yay! Back to Neo Gotham.
Yes, and we are here to watch the episode Heroes.
Ooh. Okay. So I was like, okay, yeah, I think I vaguely remember this one, but I know there's you said Heroes, so there's going to be some interesting people popping up.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. Back to Batman Beyond, guys. And we're going to get introduced to some characters.
Characters who might be familiar to people who may be showing up this summer. I'm just saying.
Okay. There it is.
Yeah.
It'll be a fun one to talk about next week.
It's going to be, I haven't watched it in a while. It's going to be fun to watch this one again because it was one of those episodes that, once again, I was in high school when this thing came out. So I was watching this episode going, oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to revisit that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. But there you go, guys. We'll be watching Batman Beyond again. We'll be back with that, and that should be a good one because, like I said, it just seems like all the Batman Beyond episodes. It just, I don't know, just something about that series.
There is something about that series that,
nothing against like the Superman the animated series, but we get a little QT episodes.
48, 49, 50, 51. We only have 5 more episodes of Superman.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we only have 5 more episodes of Superman, and the last 2 are a 2-parter.
Oh, there you
go.
We
got 3 standalone episodes, and then a 2-parter.
Yeah,
and then we'll be done not just with the season, but the series of Superman the animated series.
God damn!
But because of the air date thing, they just keep on getting spread out with these long chunks of Batman Beyond episodes we talk about, because Batman Beyond was coming out every Saturday morning with a new episode, and Superman at this point was just in this sort of weird, episode here, episode there, lots of reruns. It was really annoying because you would always tune into the Batman Superman adventures going, am I getting a new episode this week?
Yeah, is it happening? Yeah. So there you go, guys. Heroes, Batman Beyond next week. By the way, was Tina like she wasn't like a voice, was she?
No, she
No
wasn't.
voice. Okay.
No.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention. I'm like, oh yeah, was there a voice in here?
You can pretty much assume that if I don't bring it up,
Yeah,
over the
yeah,
course of
yeah.
the episode, it wasn't anything.
Very true, but I just wanted to double check just in case, just in case. Well, thank you guys for spending some time with us with Superman's pal. Always fun, and yeah, it was always great to have like a little week off, and Scott, you got rejuvenated somewhat, but then you're back to the grind and everything.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I have to be at work at 4 a.m. That's
yay, there it is. Yeah, back to that.
This I was supposed to be at work at 10, and then it got changed to 4, and so
Oh,
like,
Jesus Christ.
I know that's a swing there. So
That's a big swing right there. Jeez. But all right, guys. We appreciate you. Scott, promote whatever you have.
nothing really
Nothing.
nothing really to promote this week.
Okay.
I'm like I said, I'm thinking about some things, shooting some video. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm really kind of enjoying shooting like these little 2-minute unboxing videos. They're
great.
They're fun because
Yeah.
I don't have to talk. I just show the cool thing, and it's nice. But like I said, make sure. I have a feeling that over the next couple of weeks, if y'all are not following me on Letterboxd, because dude, my ticket purchasing, like the
April
month of
is crazy.
it was crazy. I mean, I just saw Working Man. Nothing this weekend's got my attention. But
No
then,
Minecraft?
oh, that's right. I'm seeing that on Saturday.
Okay, I was about to say. I was like, okay. I was wondering if you're going to see that. Yeah.
Declan has been dying to see it.
Of course. That's what it's for.
I know. So we're taking it. Yeah. It's weird to think about because I'm going like Saturday morning to go see Minecraft. And then next weekend, I have a day off on Friday, and I am literally watching 2 movies back to they're so back to back. I actually had to pay for one of the tickets because my A-list reservation said that one ticket was going to conflict with the other ticket.
Is it drop in the amateur?
It is the amateur.
Okay.
But I'm going to see the amateur and then see Warfare.
Oh, that's also coming out. Wait, that's both. They're both coming out next week.
Both coming out next week.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
I'm going to check on that because my dad wants to see both the amateur and Warfare. He'll probably want to see Warfare more because he's a military man.
Well, and that movie looked. I mean, and that movie,
dude.
Oh God.
It's Alex Garland, and he co-directed it with an actual
Iraqi war veteran. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought that was coming out the week after.
No, both of them are April 11th.
And so is Drop, which looks like a good movie too. It looks interesting. God damn.
Speaking of the actor who plays Spencer in 1923,
yes, Brandon Sklenar is in that. But I was like, that looks like a really fun modern day of whoa, who's fucking sending drops to her phone kind of thing. It's God damn, man. Oh man. So I'm gonna have to tell my dad that. I'm like, oh, which one do you want to see? I know you want to see the amateur, but I think you wanted to see Warfare. He saw the trailer. He was like, yep. I'm like, yeah, we're probably gonna go see that. And I definitely want to see that more than the other two because it just Alex Garland can't go wrong.
No, you can't go wrong. It's A24. It's Alex Garland.
Yeah.
I love the idea of an actual veteran,
yes,
telling his story.
And it's in real time too.
It's a real time.
The whole movie is like start to finish. There is no time breaks. It is the entire thing that they go through is start to finish kind of thing. So also intriguing. Anyways, all right. Well, there you go. So yeah, keep on doing the unboxings and whatever stuff. Because I think they're great, and check out Scott's channel, check out his Twitter. He's posting those videos on there. You, of course, posted the unboxing of your Batfleck.
Yeah.
Not too long ago, which is a beautiful goddamn statue, and I want to steal.
Hey, dude, if you would just come visit me, I have a futon. I have a futon you can sleep on. I mean, you could sleep in the sanctum.
The sanctum and just look at all of them like, hey guys, take pictures, selfies with them. Yeah, it might happen one of these days.
That would be hilarious,
dude.
That would be hilarious. Date Dave selfies with Scott shit.
Oh, dude, yeah. While he's sleeping, I'm sitting there just like, hey, taking pictures with Dark Side and all the fucking all your figure, all the figures, all the statues that are on there. Yeah, we have to make that happen. But anyways, guys, yeah, hit that like, thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Look forward to my Minecraft review. I am definitely going to be seeing it tomorrow. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to see it in IMAX or not, because I know there's supposed to be a Superman thing.
But is the Superman thing attached to any screening?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's just IMAX, but I don't know. And I'm further away from the IMAX screen that I used to go to, and I just don't know if I want to, drive the extra 12 minutes and pay the extra money to go see a movie that I'm not really excited for anyways. So I might not even see it. That's where I'm at right now. Okay. I want to see this extended Superman preview.
This 5-minute preview thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to be, the one thing though that's going to be kind of fun is you're going to do your first reaction to Minecraft as the single 40-something-year-old man. I'm going to have a reaction that what I'm going to enjoy about it is that I'm going to see it with Declan.
Yeah.
And Heather's coming too, because it's Jason Momoa, and that was all she needed to. That was one of those that just like, Jason Momoa's in the movie. I'm watching that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I'm going to be interested to see how my viewing of the movie is influenced by the fact that I get to watch it with my 9-year-old. Because I'm going to be honest with you. That changes the experience 100%. Of watching the movie. So
100%. Like, anytime I see a movie by myself, that's where I get in serious critic mode for myself, because I have nobody to bounce off anything from. When I see it with people, and when I see stuff with my dad, there will be times where we'll have a conversation, and sometimes it's, even after the movie, I might bump, spoiler alert, guys, sometimes we get dinner afterwards and we'll talk about it. So it's not full on right out of the theater reaction, but once I get in my car, that's where I get it. But at the same time, it can have an influence when you have somebody else there. And then something like this, when you're seeing it with your son, naturally that's going to have an influence. Me seeing it by myself, who has never played Minecraft, who's only just seen what it's all about. And see, I'm going to probably have a different response. See, but I always go in with a super open mind. Hey, maybe I could find something out of this whole thing. But you're right though. There's definitely an impact, the fact that you're seeing it with your son.
The only thing that was different about this in this kind of situation is I did go see Detective Pikachu by myself for the first time.
Oh, interesting.
And enjoyed it a lot. And then it was the second time.
For somebody who didn't like Pokemon, who's never really played Pokemon but knows a Pokemon, I enjoyed that film too.
I think that's the beauty of Detective Pikachu.
Yes.
But then it was fun seeing it with Liam, because he was about the age that Declan is now. And then it just became he was my Pokedex, because he'd be like, oh, that's a that, and that's a that. I was like, I know, buddy. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me.
See, that's what's cool about that too, is like, he can educate you with stuff that you don't know. So I'll be looking forward to that as well. So all right, guys, we'll see you next week. We'll be talking about Heroes and Batman Beyond, and we appreciate you guys spending some time with us here. And we love you, and we will talk to you later.